Hello friends, I am Nisha Sharma, Associate Professor, Department of English. The topic under discussion today is Daya Pamar's poem, O Great Poet. Daya Pamar was a Dalit Marathi novelist, poet and activist. His novel Baluta was an autobiographical narrative of the atrocities suffered by Dalits, which shook Marathi society. The encouraging response caused him to write another book detailing the negative response he received from his Dalit community after the publication of Baluta. As is evident, his work, both poetry and prose, is concerned with revealing the horrors of the caste system and the cruelties inflicted on individuals by society due to this caste system. As you know, our Indian society has been divided into four varnas: Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudras. And Daya Pamar belongs to the Shudra, which were known not as Savarn but as Avarn, and they were supposed to be oppressed or exploited by the upper class people. Now, the poem, Oh Great Poet, in this poem, the poet has written the poem in Dalit literature, in the tradition of Dalit literature, and in this poem also he has raised the issue of caste inequality and oppressions. The great poet of the title, who is addressed in the poem, is Valmiki, the author of Ramayana. Daya Pamar juxtaposes the misery of Valmiki's life and background against his monumental work in which he glorifies Ramrajya. By placing Valmiki's lower caste background and the atrocities suffered by his community and his people as a counter to the praises of Ramrajya, Daya Pamar raises the issue of what it is to be a great poet. And first we should know about Valmiki, the great poet. One day, the sage and poet Valmiki was walking through the woods and he saw two herons which are known as Kronch Pakshi in Hindi, engaged in love play. The vision of the birds beauty was beyond description. Then out of nowhere, a hunter arrives, lifts his bow and shoots the male bird with an arrow. The heron falls to the ground and lay dying in a pool of blood. The female bird let out a cry that was potent and illustrative of her agony. Upon hearing the sound of the bird's grief, Valmiki was pierced in the center of his heart. He too was overcome by grief and let out a sophisticated curse aimed at the hunter. Stunned by his impulse to curse another person, Valmiki immediately sits down in meditation. Brahma, the creator, soon arrives. He tells Valmiki that because the curse arose out of a deep grief, its form and feeling should become the epic poem, the Ramayana. In India, the Ramayana is considered one of the first and foremost of all poems. Its purpose is to awaken the reader spiritually and send them along the path toward liberation, or to say moksha. By placing Valmiki's lower caste background and the atrocities suffered by his community and his people as counter to the praises of Ramrajya, Daya Pamar raises the issue of what it is to be a great poet. And now let's look into the poem. O Valmiki, should you sing the praises of Ramrajya? Because you are the great poet of poets. The poet poses a question, a significant question before the great poet Valmiki, and he says, should you sing the praises of Ramrajya because you are the great poet of poets. You are a great poet, then why are you singing the praises of Ram Rajya? Or just by singing the praises of Ram Rajya, you have become a great poet? Seeing the heron's wounded wing, your compassionate heart broke out in lament. You were born outside the village, in a shunned neighborhood where misery itself was born. And now the poet asks the great poet Valmiki, and he says, just by seeing the pain of a bird, just by seeing a wounded wing of a bird, you felt so touched, you were so moved that you created a whole epic Ramayana. But how come so that you are not moved at all by seeing the misery and oppression of your fellow beings? And he says, you are no different from other Dalit people. Even you yourself were born outside the village. And this is the picture which the poet presents before us, that these peoples used to have their houses outside the city area, in that place, in the shunned neighborhood where the servant people didn't go. So he says, you were born outside the village in a shunned neighborhood. Shunned is which was avoided by people, where misery itself was born. And here the poet has personified misery. Means this place was for the miserable people. Never festooned with fruit or flower the dissected faces, furrowed with care. The people's foreheads were crossed with cares. They looked dejected, depressed, and there, even for festival occasions, their houses were never decorated either with fruits or flowers. Is it true? You never heard their lament as they cried for liberation? And Dayapamar questions Valmiki, were you not able to hear the cries of your fellow beings who were trying to free themselves from these shackles of casteism? One Shambhuk of your own blood caught fire, rose in anger. And here again the poet makes a reference to, allusion to a character Shambhuk who was seen in Ramayana. When Rama was ruling Ayodhya, a Brahmin approached the court and told everyone that his young son has died due to the misrule of Rama. Ram immediately called a meeting with all his ministers and inquired about the cause of this. Narad, one of the sages, told him that this has happened due to the violation of a rule of penance. Narad informed him that someone from the Shudra Varna who are not allowed to perform penance in this yuga is performing a penance due to which the child has died. So Ram went in search of that person and found the place where Shambhuk was performing penance. After confirming that Shambhuk is indeed a Shudra, Ram killed him. Gods praised Ram for this act of his and congratulated him for protecting their interest and for not allowing Shudra to attain heaven. Brahmin's son returned back to life after it. So here Dayapamar is asking Valmiki that one Shambhuk of your own blood caught fire. Even a character like Shambhu was agitated and he stood against the rules of the time. But you are poet of poets and still it doesn't disturb you that the people of your community are so underprivileged, they are so oppressed, they are treated as marginalized people. Oh great poet, singing the praises of Ram Rajya, even there the icy cliff of inhumanity towered up. You are singing the praises or songs of the glorification of that Ram Rajya where we can find humanity at its peak. Oh, great poet. How then should we call you a great poet? And he says, we cannot call you a great poet because you wrote songs or you sing about the glory, you sing the glorification of Ram Rajya in your poetry, in your epic, but you didn't utter a single word in protest against the exploitation of your own class. Had you written just one single verse exposing this injustice, this outrage, then would your name have been carved on your heart? If you have written a single poetry, a single line exposing, bringing in notice the injustice or inhumanity suffered by the people of your time, then people would have written your name with their blood on their hearts, or people would have remembered forever, or your name would have remained immortal in their heart. But since you failed in performing your duties, we cannot consider you a great poet. Thank you.